Hey guys, my name is Jamie and I work on the coaching team here at Marriage Helper. In my role, I am able to help support and strengthen marriages, helping to give hope where the individual may feel there is none. Dr. Beam and Kimberly have asked me to read a question that was submitted to us by one of our listeners. This person asks, I can't find a way to keep a conversation with my husband going after the separation. I'm just afraid of saying anything that may have a negative effect. When smart contact happens, we talk for a while, then things go silent, and I end up doing random things to avoid the awkwardness. What should I do to keep the conversation going?
It sounds, and she even said it, actually, she explicitly said it, when smart contact happens, we talk for a while, and then things go silent. So this is a very common question people have. And really what she's asking here is, what's next? If it's working, when it's working, do I just keep doing the exactly what smart contact tells me to do, or does it change? Does it?
But is she also asking, like, okay, the smart contact took place for 10 minutes. I expected more conversation, and when the more conversation didn't happen, then I started fidgeting around doing things because I was nervous, because I wanted the conversation to continue, but didn't know what to do next. Let's start with that, and then what you were just talking about.
Yes. Okay. And I think they're the same thing. But I think people, when they hear about smart contact, they get so in the box of it. They don't want to misstep or do anything wrong that they say, well, I told them about the doctor's appointment or the thing, and now I'm done. Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? Yeah.
Right. I can't say anything else because anything else. It's okay to say, if you start with that and they seem open to communication back, to say back, well, how is your work going? How is your day going? It's okay to ask questions. And so if they are responding back, if smart contact is working, as many people will say, if they seem amicable, then gradually move into having a little bit more conversation. So don't overwhelm with questions, but just start asking them about themselves, about life, what's going on here, what's going on there.
Yeah, and if you're afraid that if you do that, your spouse is going to react like, well, smart contact was working, but now you're prying, and they start pulling back. Don't be afraid of that. Just watch for it. And if you see them stiffen at all, back up any whatever, then you just very gently change the subject. So if you say, how was your day today? And your wife just goes, rolls her eyes or something, go, I'm asking because actually I had a decent day. And then you tell about your day and move on as if you did not see that interaction, or that reaction, I should say, but at the same time, not prying further into her, trying to get her to talk. So watch for it, and just be ready that if you see the negative reaction of any kind, then what you do is that you just move into something else that is not pushing, that's not prying. Now, if they answer, then you just keep the conversation going as long as they wish.
Just like a normal human being. Yes.
as if there were any such thing as a normal human being. So start easy, start slow, stop on any negative reaction, don't rush. We're really back to your take it one day at a time kind of thing here, right? Don't have expectations that it's going to be some kind of a magic wand kind of thing.
Right. This is a process. The communication in your marriage did not fall apart overnight, and it's not going to magically come back together overnight either. This really is a process of two things. The first one is the person doing smart contact, so the person listening to this episode, learning how to be a better communicator. That's number one. And then the second thing this does is rebuilds the trust of healthy communication in the relationship.
That the other person's not going to judge me, condemn me, attack me, and those kinds of things.
Right.
And so we have found sometimes that if the communication's happening at all, for example, she says smart contact is working, and then things go silent. Well, if it goes silent for a long period of time, I think it would be abrupt just to start back in with something. So if it goes silent for a long time, maybe you need to go do something else. Okay. But if it goes silent for a little while, I have found that often the way you can start the conversation back is with a short story. I talked to the kids' teachers today, and here's what Mrs. Thompson said about Johnny. And make it short, though, not long, not drawn out. But you can actually somehow, sometimes continue the conversation with short stories, but make them very short. Because if the other person's not really communicating, a long story is going to drive them away. And then sometimes you can even ask questions like, what do you think I should say to Mrs. Thompson about Johnny? Did I say the teacher's name the same way twice, or did I make up two different names? Okay.
I don't even know.
You can ask.
Yeah.
But be careful now that you're not doing it to manipulate. In other words, ask only if you want to know. And so you can kind of get the other person to continue the smart contact, to continue conversation, if you be natural, laid back, not pushing, right? Mm-hmm. So what else would you say about that before we move to the next question?
If this woman was talking about it in the sense of we talk for a while, like we talk for a couple of days, and then it stops. Because you're referring to it more as we're in the same house doing something, we're talking for a little while together in the same room, mm-hmm. and then it stops. Mm-hmm. So but it's still the same thing. Even if it's been a couple of days or a couple of weeks, same principle. You don't want to just abruptly go straight back into it if it's been a week of not talking to them. Look for that organic thing that comes up that will prompt a good reason to reach out to them, and then take it from there. Okay,
I'm old school. Define organic in this context.
Something that naturally is happening. Something that is, you're not manufacturing it, but it occurred. So again, like the kids' soccer game that happened yesterday. That happened. Maybe the daughter made a goal. So that's a reason. That could be a prompt of, hey, I'm going to reach out to him and tell him about this.
Yeah, you might want to know that Sally made a goal yesterday. She's really proud of herself. You might want to give her a pat on the back.
Right.
That kind of thing.
So so that's what I mean, organic. It's happening without you going out and making something happen.
Okay, so you're not manufacturing it.
Right.
You're speaking to what actually goes on.
Right. Now, I mean, people have gotten pretty creative with this too, because there's been a couple, this was several years ago, but there was one woman and she was cleaning out the attic. And she found her husband was a big football player. I can't remember the team, but big football fan. And I can't remember the team. And she was upstairs cleaning out the attic and found his collection of Christmas ornaments that was that team. I think it was the Jets or whatever. And so they hadn't talked in probably 6 months, but she said, you know what? I'm going to tell him I found this and send it to him. It's a reason. Now, could she have just as easily thrown them out and said, forget about him? Absolutely. But instead, she said, I'm going to use this as a reason to do something nice, send him something I know means a lot to him. And at the same time, it's a reason for me to just simply reach out and see what the response would be.
Mm-hmm, but not manipulatively, like,
right.
I found the ornaments, and if you'll come over and have dinner with us, I'll give them to you.
That's a good point.
So no manipulation with it.
Mm-mm.
Okay.